Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, children, we are doing chapter number 6, heat transfer. Today, this is the topic thermal expansion. Now, what is thermal expansion? It is the increase in size or dimensions of an object on heating. Now, we know as we heat an object, it expands on heating. So, this increase in size or dimension of an object on heating is called thermal expansion. Now, solids, liquids, and gases they all expand when heated, and when a substance is in the gaseous state, it expands the most, and when it is in the liquid state, it expands less than gases but more than solids. And all this is because of the molecular arrangement in the three states of matter. As we know that the particles of matter have spaces between them, and this space between the particles is called interparticle or intermolecular space. So in case of gases, the molecules are very loosely packed, so they have large intermolecular space between them. So when a substance is in the gaseous state, on heating it expands the most. In solids, the molecules are very closely packed, so the intermolecular space is negligible. And in case of liquids, the molecules are less closely packed than solids, so they have uh, more intermolecular space than solids but less than gases. So they expand less than gases but they expand more than solids. Now, thermal expansion is of three types: linear, superficial, and cubical. Let's see what is linear, what is superficial, and what is cubical. Now, thermal expansion in solids. Solids have a definite shape and volume. This we know. This is all due to the molecular arrangement. The molecules are very closely packed, tightly packed. So, solids have a definite shape and a definite volume. So, when a solid is heated, it expands in all directions. Hence, it shows all types of expansion. As it expands in all the directions, so it shows all three types of expansion: linear, superficial, and cubical. But the expansion is more along its bigger side or dimension. Now, what does that mean? Let's see one example. When a solid rod is heated, the expansion in its diameter is negligible as compared to the expansion in its length. So, what does that mean? That length increases more than diameter, and this is linear expansion. Similarly, when a metal sheet is heated, the increase in its thickness is negligible as compared to the increase in its length and breadth. So, increase in length and breadth means area, that is called superficial expansion. So, solids undergo all three types of expansion. And suppose when we heat a solid rod, what happens? Its length increases more than its diameter. The expansion is more in the bigger side or bigger dimension. So, this increase in length is linear expansion. And when metal sheet is heated, then there is an increase in its length and breadth in comparison to its thickness. There is a negligible increase in its thickness. So this type of expansion where length and breadth increase is called superficial expansion. When there is an increase in length, that is linear expansion, and when there is an increase in length and breadth both, that is superficial expansion. Now, explanation of thermal expansion of a solid on the basis of molecular motion. When a solid is heated, the average kinetic energy of molecules of the solid increases. We know that intermolecular space is negligible between the molecules of solids, so they are closely packed. So they only vibrate about their mean positions. When they are heated, they vibrate with a larger amplitude. As a result, the mean positions of the molecules change. So the space between the molecules increases and the solid expands. We all know that in solids the molecules are very tightly packed and the intermolecular space is negligible, and have fixed positions. As the molecules have strong intermolecular force of attraction, they can only vibrate about their mean positions. So when the solid is heated, what happens? The molecules now they start vibrating faster and with a larger amplitude. So due to this, the mean positions of the molecules change and the intermolecular space increases, and this is how the solid expands. Linear expansion of solids. Now, what is linear expansion of solids? The increase in the length of an object, like a metal rod, on heating is called linear expansion. So, when there is an increase in the length of an object on heating, when the length increases on heating, this is called linear expansion. Now, what are the factors that affect the linear expansion in solids? Number one is original length of the rod. Let us suppose that there are two rods and they are of the same material, but their lengths are different and they are heated to the same temperature. Material is same, temperature is same, but lengths are different. So what happens? The longer rod will expand more than the shorter rod. So longer the rod, more is increase in its length. Now increase in temperature. Now suppose there are two rods, they are of the same length, same material, but are heated to different temperature. Here length is the same, material is the same, but temperature is different. So the rod that is heated to a higher temperature expands more than the other rod. Thus, higher the temperature, the more is increase in its length. Now material of the rod. Now there are two rods, they are of the same length, but now here material is different. Like one is copper, other is iron, and they are heated to the same temperature. Here temperature is the same, length is the same, but material is different. One is copper, one is iron. So which rod expands the most? The uh, copper rod expands more than the iron rod. Thus, different solids expand to different extents even when they are heated to the same temperature.